Hi. Thank you for the strategizing. Thank you for the work. Thank you for the friendships. For more gratitude, I am delighted to introduce you to Dr. Deborah Whitman. Deb is our Chief Policy Officer and is the Executive Vice President of Policy Research and International and the author of The Second 50. I'm honored to introduce Deb to you.
Thanks, Dr. Wynn Quinn, who received her honorary doctorate, I think partially for all of this great work that we're going to talk about today. So I want to thank, Alicia's here. I want to thank the Planning Committee, especially Susan, Alicia Georges, Sue Hassmiller, Charlotte Parent, and all our AARV events team who helped pull today together. Wynn is actually, I believe, the longest serving CCNAer here at AARP, joining in 2008, shortly after the center was launched. She also holds the distinction of being an honorary fellow of both the American Academy of Nursing and American Association of Nursing Practitioners, designations that reflect her reputation as a fierce nurse champion. So. I have a little bit of a cold, so let's hope the voice holds out. I've got my throat coat tea here just in case. But it's my honor to welcome you all here to AARP for what I know is a special celebration of an impactful collaboration and a nationwide movement, including recognizing all of the people who made it happen and the leaders who will take it forward. And I want to offer my thanks to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for 18 years of collaboration, especially Dr. Susan Hassmiller for her vision and leadership for so many years. We can clap throughout all this. I don't mind being interrupted. And also Beth Toner, who currently serves as the grants program management. We really appreciate the partnership between us and AARP Foundation. The impact has been far and wide. So I have to admit, I wasn't at AARP when CCNA was launched, so I take no credit in bringing it here. And perhaps when it first came, although Bill Novelli would say he understood it right from the beginning, people might have wondered why AARP and why a nursing center. So 18 years later, I don't think those questions still exist. The why is pretty clear. Having a strong, stable healthcare workforce is essential to ensuring quality health and long-term care for AARP's members and their families, and really has always been central to our mission. Let me just talk a little bit about the impact that CCNA has had. Now, 27 states and the District of Columbia allow nurse practitioners to provide care to the full extent of their education and training. 98 million people have better access to care because of this one change. Through our Nurses on Boards Coalition, 10,000 nurses now serve on boards. And between 2009 and 17, the number of RN to BSN graduates tripled. So none of this could have happened without the organization, staff, and volunteers behind CCNA. And so I want to thank, in particular, the campaign's 41 state action coalitions. You have been the feet on the ground, building coalitions to make change, and you raised more than $130 million to support your efforts. We didn't do it alone. We had a lot of national partners, so I want to particularly call out the Champions for Health Equity Through Nursing Coalition, and importantly, the American Association of Critical Care Nurses, who joined us to fund several of our nursing innovation funds, the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, and the National League of Nursing, who collaborated with us on mentoring programs for minority-serving nursing schools, and the members of our Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Steering Committee, who provided valuable messaging and strategy insights to reach diverse populations. I also want to acknowledge campaign strategic advisory committee members who advised campaign leadership and guided our work from the very start, especially Mr. Bill Novelli, who was here at the time that CCNA was brought. I also want to thank Tony, Dr. Tony, Dean of Nursing at the University of Pennsylvania, who's also been the longest serving member of that board. So thank you all. Now to my AARP team. It's lovely to have Susan back in the building. I want to recognize her first of all because she was CCNA's chief strategist and director, and while simultaneously the director of the Public Policy Institute until her retirement last year. So it's nice to have you back at AARP. I want to personally just acknowledge Susan's vision and ability to innovate and motivate and inspire others over the 17 years she led the center. Under her leadership, CCNA and AARP secured important state and federal advocacy wins by collaborating with thousands of national and state coalition members and AARP's state offices and government affairs colleagues. Thank you, Susan. I also want to thank other parts of AARP that were involved in that, and particularly our government affairs team with Elaine Ryan and Joyce Rogers, Bill Sweeney, and Megan O'Reilly and their entire teams. I want to thanks to the leaders of CCNA over the many years, including Wynn Quinn, Jennifer Peed, Mary Boyle, and our former colleague Pat Polanski. Is Pat here? No, she couldn't make it. Okay, but I'm sure I would have heard her voice had she been here, so maybe she's watching. But thank you to our leaders, Mary, Jen, and Wynn. So let's give them a big round of applause. And I also want to acknowledge CCNA's first director, Brenda Cleary, who passed away in 2023 and was a great leader. She was one of the foremost experts on nursing workforce data, and from what I understand, was also a fun, generous, and kind colleague. We have an amazing CCNA team here at AARP. I want to thank Aiden McCallan, Anna Whitelock, Ann Singer, Jasmine Cooper, Geneva Badmus, and Nicole Harriman. You have done amazing work, and all of the things that I've said would not have been possible without the incredible team we've had. If you are a current or former staffer of CCNA, I know we have several in the room, please stand up today so we can acknowledge you. We have stolen several of the CCNA staffers to move to other jobs within AARP. So CCNA has been a great training ground for leadership throughout the organization. So in closing, I just want to say I'm grateful to everyone who has contributed to the work of CCNA and the incredible impact of the Campaign for Action. I'm excited that the work will continue on, and you'll hear more about that from Alan and others. And thank you all for coming here to celebrate this moment. And now I'm going to turn over to my great and wonderful colleague, Claire Casey, because this has been a foundation-led AARP managed grant program throughout the tenure. So thank you to Claire for coming to talk from the foundation's perspective.
I am so delighted to be here with you today and to share in this celebration with all of you representing AARP Foundation. And we want to thank Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for your partnership over so many years in advancing this important work. AARP Foundation, AARP, and Robert Wood Johnson really co-founded the Center to Champion Nursing in America in 2007 with the goal to make sure that everyone in America has access to highly skilled nurse when and where they need one. And that couldn't be more relevant to the community that we serve at the foundation, the 39 million older people in this country living in poverty or one life event away from slipping into it. And how much have you accomplished in this time? It's truly incredible. We've been really honored to work with AARP's Public Policy Institute, which has done just a magnificent job of taking this vision and turning it into this incredibly important strategic work, and all the victories that Deb recounted to us just a few minutes ago. And I personally want to acknowledge Susan Reinhardt. You have been such a light. I'm new to this 17-year journey, only here for the last 2 years of it, but your leadership, your sort of vision, your energy, what you bring to this work just shines through to everyone. And it's just such a joy to see you again today and be able to share this celebration of 17 years of great work together. And I want to thank everyone in the room for being here today. In addition to your commitment to continue the work of the center began 18 years ago, I know many of you are also supporters of the broader mission of the foundation, working to build a country free of poverty for older people. So thank you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Beth Toner, the Director of Program Communications at the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Beth has been involved with CCNA since the beginning, and we are delighted she was able to be here with us today.
Thank you. Almost since the beginning. Although it dawned on me as I was sitting there, I am now AARP's target audience, and I don't know how that happened. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm really grateful to be here. Social justice and nursing have been mutually aligned since the inception of nursing. We lead with curiosity. We lead with love. We don't lead with anger. We don't lead with fear. Those wise words are from Dr. Monica McLemore, one of the fiercest and smartest nurses I know, kind of like a lot of nurses in this room. And they describe perfectly why I chose this profession. When I was a newly minted nurse 15 years ago, almost to the day, I remember reading about RWJF's work and the newly released Institute of Medicine report, The Future of Nursing, and wondering what it meant for me and for the profession. I never dreamed, as I received that coveted nursing pin and my then 3-year-old, who is graduating from high school now, yelled, "Yay, Mommy!" That I'd be given the opportunity and the privilege to work at the foundation and to help support our nursing work with strategic communications. Let's acknowledge this is a bittersweet moment. It's hard for a funder to end a grant, but it's even harder for you all. But I feel privileged to be here to honor the Campaign for Action and, on behalf of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, to thank each and every one of you who made this work possible. What you have accomplished over the course of the last 15 years has made a difference in the lives of so many nurses and those whose lives they touch. So many of you are the kind of nurse I aspired and continue to aspire to be. Thank you. And lots of folks have covered this ground already, but I'm going to cover it again, so you got to hear the thank yous one more time. And yes, you can cheer and clap. The state action coalitions, the National Coalition, the Strategic Advisory Committee. Y'all are going to be tired of clapping by the time I'm done. The Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Steering Committee. The work of the campaign would never have been possible without the amazing staff here at AARP, and we've talked about it already. My AARP communications colleagues, including Mary Boyle and Aidan McAllen, although Aidan, I don't think I'll forgive you for the fact that I'm now realizing how much younger I was when I started this work because I looked at those pictures. And amazing folks like Wynn Quinn, Jen Peed, and many, many more. Of course, I also want to thank my mentor and former RWJF colleague, Sue Hass-Miller. Sue was go ahead. Sue was RWJF's Senior Advisor for Nursing. I feel like I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I'm still going to say it. It was through her vision and support that RWJF funded the 2 major Future of Nursing reports. out of the then Institute of Medicine and now the National Academy of Medicine, work that Sue helped to lead. The first report was groundbreaking for our profession. Thank you on behalf of the new nurse in 2010, helping nurses claim our space as leaders and embrace lifelong learning. It was that report that helped Sue secure the funding for the Campaign for Action, housed at the Center to Champion Nursing in America, right here at AARP. Sue also advanced in the middle of the pandemic, the second Future of Nursing report, which came at a critical time for our profession during the COVID-19 pandemic and the death of George Floyd, both of which made clear that structural racism and inequity pose a barrier to health and well-being for so many, including many in our profession. The report provided updated direction about how we must all work together to create a truly diverse, inclusive, and just nursing workforce. And the campaign certainly would not have been possible without the equally important other Susan Reinhardt, Sue Hassmiller's strategic partner here at AARP, and a fierce and passionate nurse in her own right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's have a round for this amazing work and the amazing folks who made it happen. And now it's my honor to invite Sue and Susan to the mic.
We were told to wear our red heels, which we didn't.
My bunions.
But we
I
often
can't
sort
wear
of
them
dress
anymore.
just wow. It's just so great to be here with so many of you in this room and those online. I think we have over 100 people that are joining us, those volunteers across. It is truly a joy, especially to see my CCNA team, who has already been acknowledged, the high-performing team, and it's a team that always understood what their job was. And their job was to energize and support the thousands of volunteers, many of whom are here and there, who advance the powerful idea that millions of nurses in this country can and should lead the way to better health for all. Very powerful idea, which is still going to go on. My directors, you've heard, walked on water, Brenda, Pat, Jen, Wynn, and Mary, and together this team, led by those directors and us, created very impactful convenings and learning collaboratives around the country. We started with 31 state teams, and we focused on education capacity. And many of those, again, some of them here in this room, became the pioneers of creating initially 51 state action coalitions, still 41 that are kicking it, without funding, by the way, which is pretty significant, I think. I'm very grateful to AARP for bringing the consumer voice to this mission. And thanks to Suzanne, I don't know if she's in the room, but Suzanne Miyamoto for hosting the Coalition on Nursing Organizations. Where is she? All right, and there she is. The Coalition of Nursing Organizations and AARP, which really helped build the trust relationship of why is this here and not at a nursing organization? Thank you, Suzanne. And that really helped us move so many policies, particularly like the graduate nursing education demonstration and so many more things. So I just want to end by saying it's pretty amazing that we started CCNA, as Claire said, in 2007 when I came under the leadership of the CEO you've already heard about, Bill Novelli, who, by the way, came up with the name, the Center to Champion Nursing in America. That was his creation, so thank you for that. And wow, we started with a 5-year grant. 5-year grant, and here we are 18 years later. So here's my partner, not in crime, but in health, Sue Hassmiller.
All right. So I have no notes. I was handed notes, but I figured this is one of these times when I would just speak whatever came into my heart and to my head. And I came in today with a lot of gratitude. I was teaching all day today, and I happened to tune in to the action coalitions for about 8 to 10 minutes. And I was amazed. I was amazed that you all are still at it, still mission oriented, still wanting to accomplish the recommendations as they were written. And it gave me so much gratitude about everything that has been accomplished here. So with gratitude and a little bit of sadness, and here's where the sadness came in, when I saw the pictures of Linda Burns Bolton. It just breaks my heart, because this is how it started. Back in 2007, I was at the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and leading a team, and then the president at the time, Risa Larissa Moray, came to me and said, the board wants to do a commission on the future of nursing, and we would like you to lead it. But you have a choice, because you're leading this team, or you can do this. And I thought, I don't want to leave the foundation. I'm really, the oil's greasing the skids, and it was feeling good there, right? And I called two people. I called Linda Burns Bolton, and I called Marla Salmon. Some of you don't know her, but she was another mentor to me. And I said, I had this dilemma, what should I do? Should I do this future of nursing thing, or should I stay at the foundation? And they convinced me, you got to do the future of nursing thing. They think it's going to, it might be big, it might be important for the nursing profession. And I didn't see it exactly at that moment. But then we got working on it, and I'll tell you, Deb, you asked why AARP. One of the biggest reasons why AARP, wonderful organization. Bill Novelli was here, a great friend to the foundation, but Susan Reinhart was here. And so it was so important that when the report was finished in 2010, and the president said, I don't care what it takes, just implement the recommendations. Yeah. Right? That's all she said. Right. Just implement the recommendations. And I didn't know. I didn't know exactly, but I had an idea. But then there was Susan, and together we sort of concocted this plane, and we were building it and trying to fly it at the same time. And then we had this big conference. Remember that? We had this, you've heard me say that a million times, right? It's okay, we're building it, but we can fly it too, right?
We only have a minute and a half.
And then we had this big conference to launch the 2010 report. And we chose 5 action coalitions, remember that? And we said, we're going to bring this book to the field, to all the nurses, you were there. And we chose 5 action coalition leads. They weren't even called action coalitions. But we were going to announce them as states that were going to implement the recommendations. And I remember on that morning, one of the leads, I think it was Jane Mahalo or somebody, I can't remember who, but they said, what if somebody asks us a question about how we're going to implement the recommendations? And I said, don't worry about it now. Don't worry, we're at this conference. We'll get to the recommendations. So we did that, and here we are, work together, and then the second report was so important. And I'll just end by saying, since Susan said I had a minute left, and
you're way past that.
She's kicking me now. This second report turned out to be one of the most important reports of our time, especially for what our country's going through right now. I'm not going to get political. But when I heard the action coalitions today, when I dialed in, talking about the importance of health equity, and how on many days I get discouraged, right? I get discouraged now. But when I heard you all talking about that, it just brought light and life into my day. And I thought, yes, they're doing it. So thank you so much for sticking with the reports, for the implementing the recommendations. Someone tell Risa that it's still going on, right? That you're still here, that you're implementing the recommendations, and you have been the most incredible leaders, and I have had the best time with you in my entire life. So thank you, and thank you.
And talking about someone who's stuck with it all this time, Dr. Tony Villarruel, here she is, who's the chair of our Strategic Advisory Committee and dean of the top nursing school in this, I think, the country, the world. Here she is.
Thanks, everybody. And again, how wonderful it is to be here as part of this celebration. I can't believe it's been 18 years, and I can't believe I'm a member of AARP either. So let me begin by, again, the sincere thanks to everyone that's here. It took all of us working together to do. Certainly, Susan and Sue, for your leadership here, to our stack here, who's represented by Charlotte and Bill, and also Leah, to the entire CCNA team, and to the many volunteers that are out there as well. You know, I think at one point in time, we had heard that there were over 2,200 organizations that were affiliated with the Campaign for Action. I mean, how tremendous is that? But it's not just the organizations, it's the people behind the organizations that help move this forward. And so what this campaign did is it certainly shed light on why working with nurses are a win-win, whatever the role might be. So to all the volunteers that are there, out there, again, just many, many thanks. You know, I wanted to, as I was preparing remarks, I reflected on our first stack meeting. Bill, I think you were there. And I think rightfully so, when the first recommendations came out, there was a lot of attention about scope of practice, and nurses were really excited about that. And at the stack meeting, somebody said, I think you can guess who the somebody was, said, all right, what really is this report about? Is this me too, or is it about something else? And I think that really shook us up a bit, because it's about the something else. So what is the something else about? It's shaping care, so it is patient-focused, family-focused, community-focused. Something else is ensuring access to quality care, regardless of age, race, ethnicity, faith, income, geographic location, gender identity, sexual orientation, or political orientation. The something else is about advocating for health outcomes. It's also about advocating for food, for shelter, for safe environments, for clean air, for clean water. It's also about designing clear pathways and support for educational outcomes in nursing for all who enter our profession. For us as nursing, the something else is also about coming together as a profession to work on shared goals. That in itself was a big lift. It's also about recognizing our power as the most trusted profession and using that for good. It's about raising our voice and amplifying the voice of others. It's about building reciprocal relationships and building coalitions to create policies that support health. Today is not an ending. Today is an important transition, and it is a challenge for all of us to continue the work, because we're not finished yet. And in fact, the challenges ahead of us, I will say, this prepared us to address the challenges that we're confronting now. I want to say I'm grateful to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and especially to Risa and to Rich Besser, not only for support of nursing and this initiative, but for their steadfast leadership and for doubling down on health equity. They have not budged. We stand with you, RWJF, as respected members and advocates of our underserved communities. I'm grateful to AARP for their tireless support of seniors and their caregivers. We stand with you and your mission as practitioner, scientists, advocates, and as members. I'm grateful that you saw that the alignment of our respective missions, and I trust that will continue to grow. For the last 18 years, we have built an incredible foundation, but the work needs to continue, and the responsibility is on us to lead, to join, and to support. The work is too huge, it's too urgent, and it's too important for any of this to go alone. Today, we are celebrating all that has been achieved because of our work together within and beyond our profession, and all that we hope to achieve. To our nurse champions that are here, don't abandon us. Our work is fundamental to your success, and whatever your goals are, we're here to work with you. Whatever your social mission goals are, we stand with you. We are experts in policy, research, finance, and obviously healthcare delivery. Let's all remain committed to helping to eliminate healthcare disparities and to achieving health for everyone, everywhere. And with that, again, thank you all. So now I'm happy to invite my friend and colleague, Alan Reel, who is the Senior Vice President of Public Policy and Director of the Public Policy Institute. I have had the pleasure of working with Alan for a number of years as I don't know what your official title is at the Aspen Health Strategy Group, but he works magic with our group. And I have known him to be an astute listener, a brilliant policy maker, and again, he does absolutely make magic. But for all the nurses in the audience, I want to tell you, he gets nursing. He has a personal consultant who holds him accountable, but I'm going to let Alan tell you more about that. But welcome, Alan.
Thank you, Tony. Tony really has been an amazing leader throughout the campaign. Of course, we know her as the Dean of the School of Nursing at Penn, but you are, of course, a nationally and internationally recognized researcher. You've been an advisor on health policy and founded the National Coalition of Racial and Ethnic Minority Nursing Association, helped shape this campaign's Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Steering Committee, and served as its first leader. Just since you dropped the hint, my wife is a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing, nursing ambassador, and so, and is how I met Tony in the first place. So my roots and my accountability, I'll take that term home, and I'm sure it will be agreed upon there. So we're so thankful for the leadership you've provided. There have been a lot of thanks today. I join in them, but I promise I won't repeat them all. I have a really unique role relative to everyone else who's been here. Deb said you take little credit for the accomplishments of this group. I take none. I have been here for not even 5 months. So why do I have a spot on the agenda? Well, I guess there are probably two reasons. One, I do want to reflect a little bit as an outsider. Of course, I knew of the campaign when I arrived. And I thought about it. I'm a member of the National Academy of Medicine, which was the Institute of Medicine when the Future of Nursing report was released. IOM, NAM publishes dozens, hundreds of reports, and you could count pretty quickly the ones that have had a major impact. And of course, the Future of Nursing is one of that very select group. And I thought, why is that? And it really does come down to what everyone has mentioned here today, which is leadership, which comes from amazing leaders. Great policy ideas, great scholarship, great research. Those who conduct it often believe that it will implement itself. It will just happen. And that's just not the way it works. And so when I think about the success of the campaign, I think about a really strong intellectual foundation, but more than that, I think about the incredible leadership. My predecessor in my role here, Susan Reinhardt, who I've also had the pleasure of working with for 2 decades. Yeah, I'd say it's about 2 decades. And who was actually on my board in a prior organization I worked in. And Sue Hess-Miller. But everyone in the room, it really has been an exercise of leadership that has made this, the very good ideas and concepts and evidence in that report, the reality. I'm also, as the newest member of the team associated with the work, charged with helping figure out what comes next. The campaign itself is winding down. It is bittersweet. Those are, I believe, the right words. But we've spent, and really it's the team that has been doing the work of finding homes for as much of the campaign accomplishments and infrastructure as possible. Now, some of that work is still underway. Can't talk about all of it, but we have, I think, some already lined up some really excellent places where the assets of the campaign can continue to have a life. And so I want to share those with you. And I do have to read them because there are a lot of names of organizations and programs that I probably wouldn't get right if I didn't focus. So I'm pleased to announce that the National Forum of Nursing Workforce Centers is the new home and coordinating entity for the state action coalitions, which is great. The American Academy of Nursing will take the lead coordinating the Champions for Health Equity through Nursing National Coalition. The Nurses on Boards Coalition is the new steward of the Mentoring for Success, Diversity, and Health Equity program. The Nursing on Boards Coalition was launched by the campaign as a direct result of the Future of Nursing report, so it's a natural home for this amazing program. The National Council of State Boards of Nursing is the new home and coordinating entity for the Access to Care Learning Collaborative, which will continue to share resources and tactics aimed at improving access to care provided by advanced practice registered nurses. And the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation has agreed to take the campaign-related resources that are now found on the campaignforaction.org website. They will continue to live on, hosted at RWJ. Now, as I say, there's more in the works, but I think it's already a testament to the strength of what's been created, the power of the ideas and the infrastructure, and people really do want to see this live on. So I'm the end of your formal program, and I just want to end where my boss, Deb Whitman, started us, the vision that drives us here at ARP, a society in which people live with dignity and purpose and fulfill their goals and dreams. The work of this campaign, as others have said, fits wonderfully within this mission, and ARP remains committed to supporting initiatives that improve access to care, that support family caregivers, that recognize and value nurses at all levels from all backgrounds, that strengthens recruitment, retention, and the diversity of our nation's nursing workforce, and fosters opportunity for nursing career success. With gratitude to all of you in the room who helped our nation make progress on these issues, but also the work will continue. The innovation and the leadership in this critical area will continue. We're appreciative of you coming. I thank you for joining us in the celebration. So as we bring the formal program to a close, please enjoy the food, the companionship of others who are here, and we look forward to continuing our work together. Thanks for being here. So festivities move into the foyer, and please enjoy yourself.